Actually, this is directed to the Christian layman. Do you want to be a witness for Christ? You are a witness either for or against him. When Paul speaks of the ministry here, he is not referring to the clergy or the man in the pulpit. He is speaking of the man in the pew. The man in the pulpit is to train people for the work of the ministry. Our business is to help equip them for that work. I heard a tremendous analogy the other day. Sheep produce sheep. The shepherd cannot produce sheep. He watches over the sheep. It is the sheep today who are going to win the sheep because sheep produce sheep. My business is to equip the layman in witnessing. By the way, are you doing something to get out the word of God? That is witnessing. God may have given you the gift of making money. Do you use it to send out the word of God? Perhaps you are a man or woman of prayer, interceding for those who preach and teach the word of God. You can uh, contact. You have contact with some person whom no one else could reach. Many people will not listen to me. They tune in and then they tune me out. Maybe you can reach the person who will not listen to anyone else. God has called you to be a witness, my friend. This is tremendous. As I prepare for tonight, it makes me realize why that I do this. You know, only 5 people watched last night's podcast, and at least on YouTube. Well, that would be the only place for them to see it. And so people say, why would you do this? Well, because those 5 people probably would only listen to me. They wouldn't go over and listen to Jay Vernon McGee, uh, uh, listen to the podcast on the radio. My people that I disciple, the ones that I um, sponsor, the ones that I am accountability partners to, they look to me for guidance. And so that's my responsibility to give them guidance. And my family, I send this to my kids. I've told you before, I started off doing this with the idea of I was sending Rick Warren's Daily Hope to my kids. I was actually, before that, backing up a little bit, I was Nate and his small group, and he was talking about how every day he sent his kids a text. And I thought, how wonderful. I've got one child I haven't heard from in 6 years, give or take. So I thought, well, I'll just start sending all my kids um, uh, the Daily Hope every day, and then I thought, well, I'll add those who are my sponsees and my accountability, those that I'm accountability partner, and those I'm over in CR, and so I did that, and it just kept growing and growing with the people that I would send it to each day. I think I'm up to 60 or 65. I also Mason Canapple got the idea from him. He would send me something every once in a while, a devotion, and ask how he could pray for me. And so it kind of grew over time. But there are obviously 5 people who would listen to me, and instead of looking up the J. Vernon McGee radio program and listening to him, and so or doing some or listening to Rick Warren on Daily Hope or many other things. This is their devotion. This is how that they get what they receive from the Lord every day. And so that's my responsibility. I came kicking and streaming doing this. I didn't want to do it, but it's my duty. It's my sacrifice. It's what that I am asked to do. And we'll talk about it as more as we go on in this. This concludes this section. Now we move on to section verses